Welcome back to the Prime Focus Goalkeeping channel. My name is Brandon Miller, and today we are gonna break down the front smother. We're gonna show you every single aspect of the front smother that leads into the final product. Some of the basics that we feel like our goalkeepers should focus on that will help them be more consistent with controlling and securing a ball during a front smother activity. And so we want to start out. Biggest thing, the very basis of a front smother. I always talk about with my goalkeepers, simply catching the ball and having the right hand shape behind the ball in order to control it. If we can't do that, if we can't control the ball, then it's gonna be hard to consistently catch a front smother. So let's start out right here. We're just gonna have the ball come right down the middle and we're just gonna catch it. That's all we're gonna do. We're not gonna bring it in. We're gonna get to that, but we're not gonna bring it in yet. We're just focusing on our hand shape, catching the ball. So that ball comes in, legs nice and wide, that ball comes in, we catch, and we go back, right? Standing here, we're set, we're ready, ball comes in, catch, and we go, right? So we see how that ball's rolling up my hands a little bit. I want to figure out how I can just control it, how I can just catch that ball, stop it right here, right? We have to be able to control this ball, because if we can't do that, then the next aspects are gonna be a lot harder, right? So ball in, we catch and control, right? So once we get a consistent hand shape where we feel comfortable holding this ball every single time, then we build to our next aspect. So our next aspect is bringing the ball in. We're gonna do the same thing. We're catching the ball, but we're bringing it in. The big issue, and the reason why we start with catching the ball, is because we see a lot of problems with goalkeepers. Once the pace of this ball picks up, they just want to ramp it up, and that ramp tends to be bobbly. So the ball doesn't always come straight. That ball comes in and it bounces off our forearms and goes other places because we don't know how to control the ball. And so the next aspect of it for me is now bringing it in. And so that ball comes in, we're still gonna catch, bring it in, and secure it, right? So it's not so much focusing on ball comes in, focusing on ramping it, right? So if I don't focus on catching the ball has a mind of its own. That pace is gonna continue and it's gonna ramp up my arms. And sometimes I can secure it and sometimes I can't. But if I focus on simply catching the ball first and then bringing it in, right? Now I can secure the ball consistently. I feel a little bit better about holding this ball. And part of that is killing the momentum of this ball, catch, and I bring it in. A lot of you are gonna say, oh, your legs are wide open. What if the ball goes through your legs? Don't worry, we're getting to that. So now we're gonna talk about, do we wanna drop a knee? Like the biggest thing with a front smother is getting lower. So we're gonna have to get lower regardless. Sometimes you'll see a goalkeeper get here and drop the knee a little bit. Don't have a problem with that. But how does that lead into a front smother? And so we're gonna talk about it. So now that ball comes in, can we have a little security behind it? Catch it, and I'm bringing it in. All right, what does that look like in full motion? Yep. Ball comes in, catch, I bring it in. All right, you see how my momentum's taking me forward there? Well, that's gonna lead into our front smother. So we're talking about the different aspects. I catch, that's the first one. I bring it in, that's the second one. If I wanna get a little bit lower, I can drop that knee. That's the third part. And then we go into a full front smother and we slow it down here. Where we catch, we bring it in, we take it to ground, right? So those are the different aspects of the front smother that we've worked on, breaking it down into individual pieces and now putting all those pieces together. So I'm set here, that ball comes in, catch, bring it in, take it to ground. Now you'll notice how my knee drops a little bit. I want to get lower, right? I want to provide a little bit of protection for myself, but it depends on what side of the field the ball's coming on. If it's coming to this left side, I'm not going to drop my knee and then try to go this way. I adjust, I maybe take a little step. I drop that knee down, I catch the ball, I bring it in, and I take momentum to go forward. So let's look at a couple more. Ball comes in, step, catch, take it to ground. Let's go one more. Focus on every single aspect of it. Catch, ball in, take it to ground. So those are the different aspects of a front smother. If your goalkeepers are struggling with the basics, take it all the way back to the beginning. Focus on catching the ball. Focus on their hand shape first. Then focus on them bringing it in and securing that ball. They don't need to fall forward yet. They just need to feel comfortable catching and holding the ball. And then from there, working on getting them lower, working on them adding in that extra piece, and then we can start hitting the ground. Once they feel comfortable doing step 1, step 2, step 3, then we can put it all together. But we've got to focus on the very basics of it first, or else we're gonna build goalkeepers who can't consistently hold difficult balls because they don't know how to catch the ball. And that's the beginning, the basic of it. So that's it for our front smothers. If you have any questions, comments, you have some things you may do differently, throw them in our comments section and we'll talk about them. That's all we have for now. Until next time, stay focused.